Hi, Mark Sippick, Crocker Farm Auction. I'm here to discuss an outstanding face vessel that we'll be offering in our summer 2021 auction. This Redware face jug is one of a relatively small number of American-made face vessels from the 19th century that actually bears a date, which is very exciting. You can see right here, it says on the bottom and size, October 5th, 1844. And also here at the base, October 5th, 1844. So you know exactly when this piece was made, which is very exciting. You can see it has this outstanding stylized representation of a man's face, large grin, big lamb chop sideburns, these fantastic eyes, which I'll get to in a minute, these C-scroll ears, all covered in a lead and manganese glaze. A beautiful work. And what really stands out about this piece is the use of white clay for the eyes and the teeth. This clay was white when it was put on here, when it was used to form the whites of the eyes and used to form the teeth. And when it was covered in its lead glaze, much like with Norwalk Redware or any other slip decorated redware that you find, turns yellow after the firing. So there's great contrast between the base color of the manganese glaze and this lighter clay used for the eyes and teeth, which closely relates to Edgefield, South Carolina stoneware face vessels, where kaolin was commonly used to form the eyes and the teeth. Out of redware face vessels, this is among the finest conditioned and overall one of the greatest examples known. What people want a face vessel is a very expressive face, excellent modeling, but you want a certain amount of stylized characteristics. And that's exactly what this piece has. You can see the great cross-hatching here in the sideburns, this distinctive semi-lunate brow, which you see in a number of stoneware face vessels as well, produced by the Remy's in Philadelphia and in other areas as well. This kind of treatment was something that seemed to pass along to different face jug makers, very distinctive to this form. You can see it also has cross-hatching, forming hair on the top of the forehead. Redware face vessels are exceptionally rarer than stoneware examples. Stoneware examples are considered rare. There are a number of Edgefield examples known. There's examples by Dollings out in Ohio. There's examples by the Remy's in Philadelphia, of course. There's some examples from New England and Decker in Tennessee. But there's very few redware examples known. And the fact that this example survives in such strong condition, despite being made of that more fragile, lower fired clay and much more fragile lead glaze, is remarkable. You can see just how great the condition is. It only has some very minor wear on the teeth and the eyes. This belongs to a group of similarly glazed face vessels, all of a northeastern origin. Some have suggested New York State. Some theories also suggest New Jersey. This descended in the family of a Morristown, New Jersey woman. And that gives some insight into the possibility, and then of course this provenance dates back to the 19th century. So it dates back to possibly as early as the piece was made. Maybe she was a child then. At the very latest, the 1890s. So this is not something where 10 years ago somebody found this piece in New Jersey. So we have some good history on it, which is great. That always helps you, usually helps you link it potentially to a pottery. And so one possible pottery 60 miles away was the Thorn Pottery in Crosswicks, New Jersey. So lucky enough, we have a Thorn pottery piece, this jar, with a strong attribution to that site in this auction. To show you all, we can make some comparisons. You can see it has this nice crimped lid, an 1852 date, So 8 years later than this face job. You can see the glaze is very similar. This is a blackish manganese glaze that certainly assumes a lighter color, closer to this face jug in certain areas. But then, of course, one of the main things we look at when we look at pottery to try to attribute pieces are things like handle construction. And if you look at the handle on this jar, it's a ribbed strap handle, much like this handle, but it bellies out at the base, has kind of a rectangular or squarish terminal with a depression and rounded edges to that terminal. So pretty close in the way the handle is made on this piece. Brand was also reminding me, we sold a New Jersey inkwell years ago. New Jersey Redware inkwell that also utilized yellow slip in this manner, in almost like a sgraffito style to feature the owner's name. And so our feeling is this isn't a strong attribution, but there's a very good possibility that these were made at the Thorn Pottery or at a nearby pottery, some sort of associates of them. To be able to flesh that out more would be fantastic. This group, of which there's only maybe 5 or 6 known, is a really fantastic group and a very different group of face vessels. You can see this example is really remarkable in its condition and just how wonderful the face is, and we're very excited to offer it in our summer 2021 auction.